What's up guys, Trilogy here. Today we're going to finally be getting around to that tier list I've been talking about in my last few videos. This is going to be for the 2022 The Weeknd tier list album review. And this does include Don FM. One thing different about some of my tier lists versus some of the other tier lists I've seen is I am going to be including Trilogy because I do just feel like it's a separate project in itself. So that's going to be on there. I'm also going to be including the deluxe version of After Hours. Fun fact, After Hours is the only Weeknd album that has a deluxe edition. So I'm going to be including that. And then if you can count it, The Weeknd did include the alternate world version, the alternate world version of Don FM. So that's the one I'm going to be going off of. It has 2 remixes off of it and a brand new song, Moth to the Flame, although they're all brand new. But yeah, we're going to jump into it. I'm Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. We do music, videos, video games, movies, manga, all kinds of stuff on my channel. I've curated playlists. You should definitely check them out. Comment down below. What's your favorite Weeknd album? What would you have done different? And if you want to support the channel even further, I do have a Patreon. I don't do ads or sponsorships to my channel. Anything helps. And if you really want to help, hitting the subscribe button really helps so we can build a community. And starting off, of course, the first ever Weeknd album. This is gonna, well, it's a mixtape. We are going to be doing his mixtapes. Of course, they are the Weeknd projects. We're gonna have 10 projects overall that we're gonna be ranking today. So the first thing we're gonna have is Echoes of Silence. So with Echoes of Silence, this is the first Weeknd album. It had nine songs on this mixtape, and how I have it, I have the S tier. S tier is gonna be for an album that's 100% good. And there is one album that I think is 100% good. It's every song on that album is, I can listen to that song, it's good. I can listen to that song. So there's one S tier album. And then A tier, A is gonna be, so how I do my rankings, I take the number of songs on that album and then I divide it by the number of songs that I like. So say an album has 10 songs and I like 7 songs. 7 divided by 10 is 0.7, which gives us a 70% rating. Basic, I mean, the math that we learned that we said we were never gonna use in life, I'm using a little bit of it. I still don't need to know the circumference of a circle, so I'm holding on to that one. Okay, so that's what it's gonna be. S tier is gonna be 100%, A tier is gonna be 90% and higher, B tier is gonna be 80% and higher, C tier is gonna be 70% and higher, and then D tier is gonna be 60% and higher. F tier is gonna be anything lower than 59% of the songs. So as far as that goes, it's kind of a win-loss thing. The more songs you have on an album makes each song have a smaller percentage of weight as far as that goes, because the more numbers you have, the less each number holds. But then, of course, that's more room for fluff. And of course, the more songs you have, the harder it is to get to 100%. So starting off, like I said, Echoes of Silence, I just wanted to explain that. Echoes of Silence has 9 songs on here, and I liked 8 out of 9 of that. So 8 divided by 9 gives us 88.88. And some of the good songs on Echo of Silence, I should have this pulled up just so I can give you my opinion on it. Echoes of Silence, not the song, the album. I really like Dirty Diana, and although Dirty Diana, of course, is a cover by Michael Jackson, it's DD on here. Montreal is good. Outside, I love Outside. I hated being able to relate to that song. Same old song. Yeah, it's just all really good as far as that goes. But it's not perfect. And because there's only 9 songs, even though there's only one song that I don't like, that brings it down to 88.88 just because there's less songs on this album. But we are going to be putting Echoes of Silence in the high B tier. So that's where we're at with Echoes of Silence. Up next, the next thing The Weeknd released was Thursday. And honestly, a lot of people love Thursday. Like my friend Carlos, we're both really big Weeknd fans. And out of the 3 mixtapes, he says Thursday is his favorite. But I'm just not really a big fan of the Thursday album. The Zone with Drake, that was my first favorite The Weeknd song. The Drake verse on there is amazing. But I'm just not a big fan of this album overall. There's 9 songs on here, and I only like 4. 4 divided by 9 brings us down to 44.44. And this is gonna be our first F tier. And before you click off, please, I just didn't like it that much. I wasn't a fan. I know a lot of people love Thursday. A lot of people say it's his best project. I mean, I don't even really like the song Thursday, which was like one of the first The Weeknd anthems. I'm sorry. I guess I should have ranked that one last because everyone's about to click off now. But yeah, that's where we're gonna put Thursday. It's gonna be our first F tier album. Up next is going to be House of Balloons. House of Balloons also has 9 songs, and I also liked 8 songs off of it. House of Balloons, out of this, so that does put it at 88.8% because it has the same rating as Echoes of Silence. But personally, I think I like House of Balloons just a little bit better than Echoes of Silence. On top of that, Echoes of Silence has Dirty Diana, which is technically just a Michael Jackson cover. The song was already good, so if I had to do a tiebreaker, I would probably give it to House of Balloons. So we're gonna put House of Balloons on the high. And for you super fans, I made this tier list myself because I couldn't find one that had Don FM. And then I also couldn't find one that had Trilogy on here, which I'm gonna put Trilogy on here. Fun fact, I wasn't really listening to The Weeknd during his mixtape phase, but I did listen to it like right when Trilogy came out. So I've been a long time fan, but I wasn't there when he was first coming out. Like he was kind of out there, but he wasn't really out there yet. But I do think Trilogy is a separate album. It does have 3 new songs, the Valerie, Till Dawn, and all 3 of them are amazing. They're like really good songs. But House of Balloons has, House of Balloons, of course, that song is crazy. Coming Down, The Knowing, Loft Music. Great song, classic songs. So we're gonna put House of Balloons in the high B tier. Up next, this is gonna be The Weeknd's first official album. This is gonna be Kissland. And when this album first came out, I was really not a big fan of Kissland. I was like, I don't like this new Weeknd sound. I didn't really like it. Little did I know, Kissland is still kind of old Weeknd. He has definitely a definitive sound that's different from what it was back then. But I really didn't like it that much, but Adaptation, woo-wee, Pretty, Tears in the Rain, yeah, Kissland is a banger. I like 9 out of 10 songs on this album. I didn't like Love in the Sky, but as far as that goes, that gives 9 out of 10, gives us a 90%, and that's gonna put Kissland as our first A-tier album. So far, this is our favorite album. I love Kissland now. It's just had to age on me. And that's one thing some of the new albums don't have, like Don FM just came out, so it hasn't given me some time to age on it. Like as time changes, we change as people. So our music tastes change, of course. So some albums might get better, some albums might get worse. And Don FM just has the novelty of being new. It doesn't have any aging power or anything like that. So I don't know if there's any replayability on the songs or stuff like that. After Hours definitely grew on me also. But there's certain albums on here that when I listened to them for the first time, they didn't need to grow on me. They were just really good. Kissland wasn't one of them, but it's to the point where it's grown, still super good. Oh, I forgot Trilogy. Let's double back. Trilogy is going to be a 30-song album. It's just basically all 3 of The Weeknd's mixtapes, along with 3 new songs, Valerie, Till Dawn, and 28, and all 3 of those are really good. But overall, there's 30 songs on there. If we take the ratings that we have from the other 3 mixtapes, that gives us a 23 song out of 30s. 23 divided by 30 is 76.66. So that's going to put Trilogy in the high C tier. As far as that goes, it is lower than the first 2 mixtapes. Well, I mean, it's lower than Echoes of Silence and House of Balloons, but the rating that I gave Thursday, because I only like 4 of those songs, really brings it down. So that's why, even though Trilogy is really good, 23 songs is nice, but overall, the rating is brought down by the bad songs from Trilogy, in my opinion. Not Trilogy, bad songs from Thursday, in my opinion. Okay, we did Kissland. Up next, we're gonna have Beauty Behind the Madness. This is gonna be The Weeknd's first really viral poppy album. And a lot of people really do not like Beauty Behind the Madness. But in my opinion, this is my favorite The Weeknd album. I like every song on this album. Now, is every song a banger? No, it's not. But this album is really good. You have those viral radio songs, Often, The Hills, Can't Feel My Face, Earned It. Those were really viral, really good songs. But then you have the sleeper hits like Angel, that was really good. Acquainted, that was really good. I mean, all of these songs are really good. And I like every single song on this album. 14 out of 14, that's 100%. And this is going to be our first S tier ranking. Blasphemy, I know, to some people. But I love Beauty Behind the Madness. I just love this album. It's really good. As far as that goes, next up we're gonna have Starboy. 1 second. For some reason, I don't have it on here as far as what my rating was on it. So 1 second. Starboy has 18 songs. I know I'm not the biggest fan of Starboy, honestly. So 1, 2, 3. So there's 13 songs that I like off of this album. So I just need to calculate it real quick. Sorry, I don't know why I missed that. 13 out of 18, that gives us a 72.22. So Starboy is going to be in the C tier, right behind Trilogy. So Starboy is really good. Obviously, I'm not liking it as much as the older stuff, but the actual song Starboy, that was really good. Party Monster was really good. False Alarm, that song was really annoying to me when it first came out, but honestly, it grew on me. I really messed with False Alarm. 6 Feet Under is really good. Ordinary Life, really good. Die For You is probably in my top 10 The Weeknd songs. Like if I had to go through a top 10 for the Weeknd songs, that song would be on there. I really messed with Die For You. That's a really good song. It just isn't on a really great album. Up next, we're gonna have My Dear Melancholy. This is really billed as a return to form, the older, sad, melancholy sound of the older Weeknd stuff. It has 6 songs. Out of those 6 songs, I like 4 of them. And when it first came out, I really didn't mess with it at all. I was like, yeah, I like the older Weeknd, but it's just like, I really didn't mess with it too much. Wasted Time, Saddest, that's a sad song. Call Out My Name, really good. Privilege, I didn't really like, but as on a re-listen, I like it. So with that, we get a 66.66. That's gonna make My Dear Melancholy our first D tier album for the Weeknd. So as far as that goes, that's where we're at on that. Up next, we're gonna have 2018's After Hours. This is gonna be the deluxe version of the album. It has 17 songs, and out of those 17 songs, I like 13 of those songs. So that's gonna give us a 76.47. And that's gonna put us in the C tier, of course. As far as where it is in the C tier, it definitely has a better rating than Starboy, but it's not as good as Trilogy as far as that goes. So we're gonna leave it right here, but it's close. It's close to that. Sometimes when you make a deluxe version and you add songs and those songs aren't good, I'm not saying the songs aren't good, it just brings down the rating as far as that goes. And then finally, we have Dawn FM, the alternate world edition, which has the Take My Breath remix, and then it has another remix on there, and then it has Moths to a Flame, which is really good. So overall, that brings the track count for Dawn FM to 19. And although I really like the vibe of this album, out of those 19 songs, I only liked 11 of them. So 11 divided by 19 brings us down to a 57.89. So that puts Dawn FM in the F tier, which I mean, it really doesn't sound right. It makes me want to like redo my whole ranking system because I like this album. And like if you ask me if I like it better than these other albums, I might say yes. But based just off of the statistics and just trying to remain unbiased off of this whole tier list is biased. It's my opinion, right? But it's just like when I put it down there, it's better than Thursday. But I mean, before the alternate version came out, it was actually in the D tier because it was 10 songs out of 16. But then the alternate world version came out and it added 3 more songs and only 2 of them were good. So it really just brings down the overall ranking for me for this project. And those are gonna be our final rankings. We're gonna have, obviously you can tell I am a bit more preferable to the older The Weeknd sound. I really think it looks like he peaked with Beauty Behind the Madness, and then everything else has been kind of C tier and lower. But I mean, Kissland was good, Beauty Behind the Madness was good. Those first mixtapes were good. You can see that those are B, A, and S tier. But then after that, we have C tier, D tier, F tier. And like I said, 11 songs on an album, I actually didn't say this, 11 songs on an album is really good. I feel like on most albums, I maybe get like 7 out of them. So even though these albums are F tier albums, they're still really good relative to other musicians out there. I like The Weeknd. If I had to say who's my favorite singer, it would be The Weeknd. I love The Weeknd. That's why I'm taking the time to do this tier list. But as far as I go, I love The Weeknd, but it's just relative to his other works, I feel like they don't hold up as good compared to everything else that he's done. So yeah, that's what we have. Do I want to change anything? Just off a personal preference. No, I think everything's good how it is. So that's the final thing. Like I said, guys, if you want to see more tier lists like this, comment down below, like the video, subscribe, and we can move on to the next artist. Who do you want to see next down below? I've already done one for Drake, and I'm gonna pin it up here for you guys if you're interested. I'm Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. I appreciate you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe and have a great day. Peace.